Today we're working on the dirt bike. I keep having a breaking up issue, so I think it's part of the fuel pump. That's my hypothesis. It's only breaking up after a certain amount, and I've seen somewhere else online that if the fuel pump is not pushing enough PSI out, or whatever you want to call it, it tends to make it break up, bog, and pop. So, went to Harbor Freight and I picked up this. I'm going to set you up on a tripod, and what we're going to do is we're going to send power to the fuel pump, and we're going to put the pressure regulator on here and see if we have constant pressure. We're shooting for about 54 PSI, and I'm hoping we can get there. So what I'm trying to say is my bike was running great for a while. We rode it a few hours, a couple days here and there, and I own this bike since January. For some reason, unfortunately, last time we rode for about three hours maybe, and you would get about half throttle, and you'd give it some more gas, and it would just completely bog down on its face like it was starving for fuel, or it was too much fuel because it would backfire and pop like it was really lean. And I pulled the spark plug out, it looked pretty bad, so I replaced it. Well, I only had 2 hours on it with a brand new spark plug, did the same thing again. And I've seen someone online take a fuel pressure gauge, whatever you want to call it, and test the pressure coming off of the fuel pump, because if it's not reading like 54 PSI and holding, then it won't run right. So we're going to just knock that out the way. I don't know what's wrong with it. So instead of me going to pay somebody to do it, I'm going to do it myself. I went to Harbor Freight like I showed you, picked up that $45 box fuel injector service kit. So let me show you my setup and what we got going on here. A little jank, but it works because you need 12 volts and you need this pressure gauge. All right, let me show you what we got. All right, we got this all plugged up. You don't need it this long, but I don't want to cut it in case I want to return it. So I got our gauge here. This is a pressure release valve. Found that out. That's cool. Anyway, so I just plugged it up. It's already on 12 volts, and I did take the fuse out so I don't spark it before I do anything. So what we're going to do is connect red to the left side and black to the right side if you're looking at the fuel pump this way. So we're going to do that, and it's going to send pressure from the fuel pump. Obviously it's going to send fuel like a fuel pump does, and this will tell us if the fuel pump is bad or not. And I'm praying the fuel pump is bad, because I don't want to dive any deeper into this. I don't want to mess with all the electronics. So maybe someone with this 2017 Yzf250 would know any more than me. So no power. Huh. Interesting. Alright, let me be right back, because obviously we don't have any power. And this is why we don't have any power. This fuse is blown. So hippie hooray! Alright, we gotta find a fuse to put in the bike, and hopefully we can get this going. I'm sorry, guys. And best way to do this, you know what to do. Just cut it. Just cut it with a pair of pliers. That's all it is. Alright, we're gonna actually unplug the fuse and strip this back a little bit, and hopefully send some power to this, because I want to see if this is the fuel pump. Alright, wow, we're live. We are live with power. Moment of truth. Let's see if this fuel pump kicks on. Okay, it's working. I gotta send constant pressure now. Well, the fuel pump's running, but it's not building any pressure. What do you think that could be? It's a full tank of gas. Try it again. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna flip it over. We're gonna pull the pump out and see if it's still plugged in or routed, because the pump's been on, but I don't think it's sending pressure at all. So we're gonna disconnect this and see if any fuel comes out. Alright? No fuel. No fuel at all. It's dry. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I don't think so. How could I be doing anything wrong? I'm just... Alright, we're gonna turn this around and pop this fuel pump off, because obviously nothing was working there, okay? Alright, all the bolts are loose, or actually gone. We're just gonna pull this plate off. Oh, I had a hiccup there. Pull this pump out of here. Just like that. Okay, I got the fuel pump off and I can see the filter. This piece just slid up like this and goes inside of this. I'm trying to watch a YouTube video and record at the same time. I don't know why I'm taking this apart. I'm just doing it to do it at this point. Apparently you gotta take this tab off here, this tab, and this tab, these wires off, and this whole thing should slide down with the motor. Yeah, I couldn't get it off. So before I do end up breaking this thing, I'm gonna put this back in the gas tank and test the pump and see if there's fluid coming out of here. And if there is, I'm gonna hook the regulator back up, and not the regulator, but you know what I'm talking about, and see if there's pressure, because I don't think there's any pressure. Alright, we'll put this back in here, and I'm about to shoot some fluid from here over there. Let's see how far it goes, alright? Alright, we got hot wires, and some gas. Never a good idea. Let's see what happens. Nothing. There's no fuel coming out at all. Interesting. I'm gonna put this back on and show you, even upright, that we don't have any fuel. So let me get this back on. Kind of spilled some because I didn't. Whatever. Anyway, let me show you what we got. Alright, I got you set up, and I'm about to send power to this again, and hopefully I don't shoot myself in the face with gas. But I know it won't, because there ain't no power. Oh shoot, I'm gonna shoot myself in the eyeball. Nothing. Pump running, but nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, we're going to send power to this one more time, and we got you hooked up over here. We're looking for about 50 pounds, so face this way, and hopefully this goes up. So we're going to prime the pump, and hopefully the pump stays primed enough where the fluid goes to the pressure gauge, or the whatever you want to call it. I can't speak. I reversed it. Now we're building pressure. Now it's sending pressure. Are you serious? That worked. So what's going on? It's holding 50 pounds. Okay, but if that was the case, if positive was on the right side, wouldn't my plug be positive on the right side? That's what's confusing me. Right? I can't believe I just made y'all sit there and watch me plug these wires up backwards the whole entire time. Sorry. But still, it don't make any sense on why on the plug, positive is on the left and negative is on the right. But this way, plugged up to the bike, it would send the other way. Am I doing something wrong still, guys? Please help me out. I really want to get this thing fixed. This thing is really getting on my nerves. I can't ride it that much. Well, I found out why the plug is wrong because black here is actually positive because if you trace it back into the battery, it goes to the positive side. So I was just pressing. Yeah, do you get it? You understand what I'm dealing with? Okay, now I'm going to put this back together because obviously the fuel pump works fine. I don't know where to go after this. Why do I always do this to myself? I get myself hyped up. I won't fix it. Even though I kind of knew that wasn't the problem, but I wanted to make sure that wasn't the problem because that was the cheapest way to go. So, yeah. Well, that's it. I don't know what the problem is. We're going to keep diving into this bike. Obviously, the fuel pump is fine. So I wasted this whole video on 2 swapped wires, okay? Fuel pump does work, but that's how you do it. You hook up 12 volts if you want to learn how to do that. So sorry for making you watch that whole thing. If you're watching this now and you might know what the problem is, then let me know in the comments. See what I can check. What's cheapest first? I'm going with the fuel pump first because why not? It's cheapest. Anyway, so I'm going to continue this video. So next thing you see will either me not finishing this and it's going to be the outro, or you're going to see more of this. So, and we're going to put this back together. We're taking this to the local shop and I'm going to let them work on it. I don't want to mess with it. I still got to work on my XSR, get that ready for VIR South course in 2 weeks. So we're going to take this to the mechanic shop. We're going to put it all back together. We're going to load this thing up in the morning and we're going to take it over there and I'm going to pay them to do a diagnostic check on it and they can figure out what's wrong with it and then I'll fix it later. Until then, I'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Up in the hills now, shawty, we can mess around. Remember I was broke, they never came around. They thought of me as a clown, they didn't know my name, I bet they know it now. Heard it screaming from